It might seem weird what I'm about to say, but we just might be witnessing the downfall of Kylian Mbappe at Real Madrid.
Yet we've seen Kylian Mbappe putting great performances in the Champions League. We've seen great performances for France, of course, when they won the World Cup. Why are we seeing such immature performances from him?
2 huge games, 2 missed penalties, a truckload of missed chances. Week after week, Mbappe just keeps dropping stinkers, and it's getting painful to watch. Let's talk about the game against Athletic Bilbao. Real Madrid needed that win, like really needed it. A victory would have put them just a point behind Barcelona with a game in hand. High stakes, right? Then, when Madrid had the perfect chance to equalize, Mbappe stepped up to take the penalty. And what does he do?
This is Mbappe. And he saved the penalty!
Seriously, Mbappe? Again? At this point, I bet Madrid fans would have been happier seeing anyone else take that penalty. When I say anyone, I mean literally anyone. Mbappe has just not been it since moving to Real Madrid. So here's the real question. What's really going on with Mbappe in Madrid? Just a couple of seasons back, Mbappe was that guy in football.
Mbappe, Thuram, Mbappe!
Yeah, France may have lost the World Cup final that year, but what Mbappe did, a hat trick in the biggest game on the planet, signified his status as the next generation superstar. On the club scene, he was equally as impressive with PSG. So much so that by 2024, despite having spent only 7 years at the club, he'd now become PSG's all-time top scorer with 255 goals in 305 games, beating the likes of Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Edinson Cavani. With the kind of numbers he was putting up, it was inevitable that the biggest European team on the continent, Real Madrid, was going to come after him. And they did. The saga lasted years, a couple of unsuccessful bids, and even Mbappe turning Madrid down in 2022. But in the summer a few months back, Mbappe finally became a Galactico.
For his unveiling, the unveiling that is followed today by millions of people across the globe.
However, things haven't quite gone according to plan for Mbappe and Real Madrid. When he signed, it was supposed to be a move that would take Real Madrid's attack to a level out of this world. But instead, what we're witnessing now is completely different. When he signed, on a free transfer by the way, PSG fumbled hard. Expectations were through the roof. This was supposed to be his moment, playing alongside Vinicius Jr., who was easily one of the best in the world right now, and Rodrigo, a rock-solid talent. Add in Jude Bellingham, Madrid's MVP last season and a Ballon d'Or top 3 player, and Mbappe had a dream setup. But what happened instead? Disaster after disaster after disaster. Sure, his start wasn't awful. I mean, he scored in the Super Cup final. And his performance against Mallorca wasn't bad either. But after that, it's been downhill fast. No impact against Valladolid, a ghost against Las Palmas, and come on, we're not talking about powerhouse teams here. These are the kind of games where a $200 million player should be running riot, putting on highlight reels. Instead, Mbappe's been giving us meh performances. Then came the day we all thought Mbappe was finally back. He scored 2 goals against Betis, one from the penalty spot and the other… Okay, credit where it's due. That was some brilliant movement from him. He didn't stop there either, keeping up the momentum with 4 goals in 4 straight games. And as of right now, he's got a total of 10 goals in 20 games this season. Now, 10 goals in 20 games isn't terrible for your average striker, but for Mbappe, that's awful. And to make matters worse, half, or maybe even more than half, of those goals are from penalties. This guy just can't seem to score from open play anymore, and it's mind-blowing. We're talking about a player who ended his last season with PSG as Europe's joint top scorer with a ridiculous 52 goals. With numbers like that, it's no wonder Madrid players and fans expected him to hit the ground running. But as we've seen, it just hasn't worked out like that. Why though? Why is it so hard for a player who had such a phenomenal season at PSG to adapt and thrive at Madrid?
I don't think that's put everything on Mbappe. I think Mbappe has put everything on himself, given the manner in which he joined Real Madrid. and what was expected around him?
Well, one reason could be his position. Naturally, Mbappe has always been known as that lethal left winger. Madrid even got a taste of it during the 2021-2022 season. But here's the issue. No one really understands what Madrid was thinking. They brought in Mbappe, who excels on the left wing, into a team that already has Vinicius Jr., a player who's been on fire ever since Carlo Ancelotti took over. You see, Vinicius isn't just good. He's been so outstanding that he was this close to winning the Ballon d'Or. I mean, no team in their right mind would bench someone like that or try to alter his position. So forcing Mbappe into the number 9 role? That was never going to work. I mean, this is the same guy who openly complained about playing that position at PSG. So honestly, what did Madrid think was going to happen? That some kind of magic would fix everything? Dude has just been so off playing that number 9 role, and no game showed it better than El Clasico. That was the day I found out one player could be caught offside 8 times. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Seriously, how does that even happen? And the craziest part is, for a player like Mbappe, one of the 3 fastest players in the world, he shouldn't even need to get caught offside that much. I mean, just think about it. If this guy is 10 or even 20 meters behind a defender like Inigo Martinez or Cubarsí, and the ball gets played into space, are you telling me Mbappe can't still meet the ball? I mean, this is a guy who's clocked 38 kilometers per hour in a single game. Getting caught offside like that only means one thing. Mbappe isn't aware of his surroundings, and that just proves the number 9 role is not it for him. But let's set that aside for a moment. What about his finishing lately? Now, don't get me wrong, this guy has scored some sick goals. I mean, just look at his goal against Getafe. Or that one against Celta Vigo. Absolute madness. But the problem is, for every worldie, Mbappe misses way too many chances. Take the game against Barcelona, for instance. Mbappe got clear-cut chances, and he missed them. And then, when did he score? No shocker, he was caught offside. Yep, just another day of Mbappe things. And what about the Getafe game? Now, there are missed chances, but Mbappe took it to a whole new level. I mean, just watch this.
Can they make it 3 this time? Round the goalkeeper. And just past the far post, and that's...
If someone told me that was Mbappe who missed, I'd slap them in the gut, because there's no way in hell that guy misses a sitter like that. And honestly, there's no way something like that doesn't mess with your confidence in front of goal. Something that clearly hit its peak after this happened in a game Madrid needed to win more than anything. My man just can't catch a break. Now, aside from the fact that he missed the penalty against Liverpool, remember how we mentioned earlier in this video that Mbappe loves playing on the left wing? Well, guess what? He finally got his chance in this game. Ancelotti even reshuffled the lineup, going as far as using arguably the shortest man on the pitch, Brahim Diaz, as a false 9 just to fit Mbappe into that left wing role. But even in that left wing spot, Mbappe still didn't deliver. Dude made Connor Bradley look like prime Sergio Ramos. And mind you, Bradley was starting because Trent Alexander-Arnold had just returned from injury. Yet Mbappe couldn't manage a single successful take-on against the 21-year-old. His entire game that day just wasn't clicking. Now, to be fair, the whole Madrid team was terrible that night, but Mbappe's performance still stood out for all the wrong reasons. And honestly, it's safe to say that Vinicius not being on the pitch played a big role in that. I mean, Vinicius Jr. has been Real Madrid's standout performer this season, consistently scoring goals and taking on defenders. While Mbappe has struggled, Vinicius has thrived, almost as if he's out to prove a point. It's like Vinicius has been fueled by Mbappe's arrival, showing the world that he's the real deal. There was always a lot of speculation about how Mbappe and Vinicius would coexist in the same team, especially with their similar playing styles. Let's not forget, before Vinicius' breakout season, there was even talk of Madrid considering him in a potential swap deal for Mbappe. But let's be real, this season, Madrid's attack runs through Vinicius and Rodrigo on the flanks far more than through the middle with Mbappe. And can you really blame them? I mean, think about it. Last season, when Madrid was firing on all cylinders, it was Vinicius and Rodrigo leading the charge. And of course, how could we forget their other main man, Jude Bellingham? That guy was on fire, always stepping up when Madrid needed him most.
Lucas Vazquez early to Joselu and Bellingham to win it for Real Madrid.
Madrid couldn't get enough of him. And let's be honest, one of the big reasons for his incredible goal-scoring run was the formation Ancelotti used last season, a 4-3-1-2 setup with Bellingham in the number 10 role, giving him the freedom to make those deadly late runs into the box. But then Mbappe arrived, and everything had to change. Starting with the formation. In some cases, Madrid goes with a 4-4-2, with Mbappe and Vinicius playing as the two strikers up front, and Bellingham and Rodrigo taking the left and right midfield roles. But most of the time, it's a 4-3-3, with Mbappe, Vinicius, and Rodrigo leading the attack, while Bellingham drops back into a central midfield role, similar to what he played at Dortmund. And let's be honest, he's not racking up goals and assists like he did last season. But to be fair, Bellingham's still doing his thing as a midfielder. He's efficient, always on the move, wins tackles, and even holds the ball up well. He's still performing. The problem? No one's really noticing, because fans expect you to either match or outdo your previous season if you want to stay in their good books. And let's face it, Bellingham not getting those goals is hurting his game, and it's dragging the whole squad down too. Which brings us back to Mbappe. This is exactly why Madridistas are counting on him to step up and find his form again. If Mbappe starts banging in goals week after week, trust me, the whole team's energy will shift. Vinicius, Rodrigo, Bellingham, everyone will go back into the groove they had last season. Now, with all that said, here's another question. Is it fair to shoulder all the blame on Mbappe?
I cannot remember the last time I've seen Real Madrid on a Champions League night fail to have any kind of a presence on
Over the 90 minutes.
over the entire 90 minutes.
It's wild how quickly the narrative around Mbappe has shifted. One moment, he's being praised as the future of Real Madrid. The next, he's facing criticism from all sides. Let's not forget, he's only been at Real Madrid for a few months. Even the best players need time to adjust. After spending his entire career in Liga 1 with Monaco and PSG, stepping into the intensity of La Liga is no small feat. The pace, the physicality, it's a whole different challenge. And come on, he hasn't even played a full season yet. I mean, building chemistry with new teammates doesn't happen overnight, even for someone of his caliber. They're still figuring each other out, and that takes time. It's like trying to complete a puzzle. You don't see the full picture right away. The problem is, Mbappe's own brilliance has set the bar sky high. I mean, we expect him to deliver magic every single game, and when he doesn't, the criticism pours in. It's unfair, but it's the reality for players of his level. And it's not just at Madrid. He's been under the microscope for France too. This season hasn't been smooth sailing for him anywhere. Think about it, captaining your national team to a 3-1 home loss or being benched for most of a crucial match. And then there's the controversy swirling around him, which reports claiming he skipped 2 international games to focus on the Ballon d'Or race. It's a bizarre situation, and it's only adding fuel to the fire. Right now, things aren't looking great for Mbappe. From his struggles at Real Madrid to the drama with France, the headlines haven't been kind. It's clear that both Mbappe and Real Madrid need to take a step back, address the issues, and figure out a way forward. Something's gotta change.
How will he handle the pressure of being this big superstar now and it's not quite happening? Because they'll turn on somebody and it's probably going to be him.
This is his moment to rise to the challenge, adapt to La Liga, and silence the doubters. The next few months, they're going to tell us everything. You enjoyed this video and still haven't subscribed to Goal Zone yet? Yeah, hit that button down below.